Hello, and welcome to Brand Clarity Vlog by Visions to Images, where we focus on strategy and business development for entrepreneurs at all different levels through branding and digital marketing techniques. Susie Liberatore is the founder and art director of Visions to Images Creative Services, LLC. For the last decade, she has personally been instrumental in bridging gaps between the global digital market and neighborhood locations for some of the biggest brands around. Growth is possible for even a single location with the right professional branding techniques and Susie's signature strategies of Visions to Images. Stand out from your competitors and bring your visions to life while watching your sales skyrocket. Your host for this vlog is Susie Liberatore, owner of Visions to Images. Hello, everybody. This is Susie Liberatore on the third series of How I Scaled My Agency in a Year, and I told you guys I would have Renee Hribar on. I've been working with her for 2 years. I hired her as my sales coach, business mentor, and it has changed my life dramatically. The first year was kind of a little slow play because there was a lot of stuff going on, but over the past year is really when things started to scale and develop and change. Consistency really helps. So first and foremost, if you don't know Renee, let's have a little bit about what she does, and then we'll dive right in.
Great. Thank you so much for having me on, Susie. It's always a joy. We talk all the time, so it's great. It's great to see you in this formal way also. So for me, I have been in sales since 1994. I've had my own company since 1996, specifically teaching, training, managing salespeople to sell invisible services. So first it was AT&T, it's not tangible. Then it was Intuit and QuickBooks, intangible. So if there's a business that wants to charge another company, another business, a monthly fee for something that they can't touch or feel, I know how to sell it. And so that's what I've been doing for a long time. And I know how to teach people to sell it. And when I came into the online space, it was really just as a consultative end of my business to kind of take me into retirement. I'm 48, so I'm knocking on that door. And I found so much inspiration and joy in working with you and other women just like you who are growing and scaling their businesses in new ways. You're the expert in branding, but you hadn't had that professional sales experience. So then when I was able to come into your business and work with you on just that capacity, it's like having a trainer just for your triceps. You know what I mean? Like you work the rest of your body, but those triceps, baby, oh yeah, cut. So that's kind of how I come in and how I work with companies, including yours. And you have done amazing. You've scaled and really just refined all the processes, including the sales process, to make it seamless for someone who needs you to hire your agency and to get the results they need. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot there that you said, just being able to outsource, having that mindset, having that consistency, that follow-up, all that stuff, being able to be confident in sales and not always just saying, okay, let's close the sale, nurturing those clients and being able to just kind of do all of the things that we need to do in sales that I didn't even know. I remember when I hired you 2 years ago, I was like, I just need to make money. And that's kind of like the wrong mindset I was in at that time. And now I'm like, let's just keep the clients happy. Let's keep them going. And let's keep all of the momentum going, because I now can sell in that end of things, and I can sell or just put them and nurture them. So I think that's kind of like one of the biggest hurdles that I overcame in understanding my worth and understanding that they might say I'm too much, or they might say, hey, let's work together. But it's nurturing and telling them, like you tell me all the time, like really making sure they understand who I am and what I do. So would you agree with all of that?
Oh, absolutely. Most sales are not impulse sales, right? Especially when we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars that one company might invest in your agency. Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily a decision that somebody can just, it's not like an impulse buy, like, oh, I'm going to get that stick of gum now that I'm at the register getting this other thing. And there's also probably more than one person making the decision. Right. In a company of that size who needs the type of branding and support that your company can offer in terms of website design, development, SEO, email marketing, and social media that your agency does. You really are a full service agency. So when a company is coming to you now, they might take longer to make the decision and understand where they could use your agency inside their own company. And then number two, there'd be a longer sales experience with them. So there's lots of opportunities to sell them on one thing and then upsell them.
Yeah.
And then continue to support them. And then all of their friends and referrals. And it's not nefarious. It's just the continued development and the depth of the relationship. So for example, you've worked with lots of franchises now. And so a franchisee is an independent business owner, but they're connected to hundreds often of other businesses, which are suffering from the same problems that they are. And if they're finding success with your brand and your agency, then their friends and referrals can too. And you're just there to help and serve in the best way you can. And that's something that you've really come to. It's not just about like, hey, I'm going to make money. Because that is initially what we all need to do, but it's not the way, like what got you to 6 figures isn't necessarily what gets companies to 7 or 8 figures.
Right.
And that's what's really exciting to watch you develop into, is now hiring more, growing your agency so that eventually you really are back to being the creative director.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, we just talked about hiring the VA, and it's like I told you in a message the other day. Yeah. So you feel free. You're like, you have 5 hours back of that week right now. As I continue to grow, she's going to get more work and I get more time, but I'm still maintaining my clients. So it's exciting for me to kind of see everything come to life now and kind of not be as in front all the time. That's
right. You are the creative director, the founder. You started the company. You did all the hard stuff. Yeah. And now it's about helping more businesses. And the only way to do that is to have your agency hire more people. You're still the lead. You're still the decision maker. You're still the creative touch on everything, but you don't have to be the one to touch everything.
Yes. Now, let me ask you this question too, because I know this is a huge question that I kind of talked about in the first episode. Do you think mindset plays a huge factor in sales and success?
Well, yeah, people ask me that all the time. Do you teach mindset? I'm like, well, that wasn't a question a word that I really ever used before I came into the online space. It's quite popular here. But you can't separate the two. You can't separate the mind from the body. I mean, your brain doesn't live outside of you, and all of your experiences, good, bad, and ugly, even from experiences from a childhood. Right. If someone's parents, if they felt like they didn't get along or they were abandoned, there's so many things that can impact our willingness to put ourselves in an uncomfortable situation where we might feel like we're not enough. Mm-hmm. Like in asking someone or offering a proposal for someone, proposing something to someone. Ask any man. I have 3 brothers. Ask any man before he asks his wife to marry them. They're 99% sure she's going to say yes. Right. Yeah. And even then they're still sweating bullets, right?
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
So yes, you need mindset. It's constant, and it's not once, it's forever. It's something I spend a lot of money on developing myself consistently still.
Yes. I feel like that's one of the most important things as well that I overcame, and you kind of have helped with that whenever there was like that doubt, that fear, that anxiety, like just talking about sales, talking about money, talking about scaling your business and really growing, and even hiring somebody. Like there's just so much mindset, like, are they going to be good? Are they going to take my business down? Like just all of those things that are inside of our minds, we need to talk it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of junk in there.
There is. So now I know my biggest problem that I had, even like before working with you and even in the last year, was knowing my value and knowing my worth, just really coming in and not just putting a number on the paper and saying, here, this is what I charge for this, but really kind of showcasing why the value is what it is and what I bring to the table. Like, I think that's one of the biggest and most important things that I've overcame in my business in order to scale. Would you agree with that?
Well, yeah. I mean, that you have to be able to establish value in and of ourselves. Like it comes back to mindset, right? How do I feel about myself? I still work on this. I still meditate. I still read books, good in, good out. If I'm watching horror films and sad stories, even if it's on the Hallmark Channel, if you think it's not going to impact the way you think, you're fooling only yourself, right? Not you, but anybody listening. Right. So it's very easy. We're sponges still as adults. It's very easy to get affected without realizing it, or infected without realizing it. So surround yourself with good books. Have good books on your nightstand. Have good books on your audio player. Surround yourself with good people who are doing, speaking, acting in the way that you want to do, speak, and act. It is vital to our success and our love of our own life, no matter what we do for a living. Ask anybody who says, yes, I have a happy life, ask them what they're watching, reading, and who they spend time with.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great saying about, you are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, now in the days of COVID, there are not many people we spend any time with, but there's still influences, right? What's going in our brain? What shows are we watching? What books are we reading? What are we experiencing? It all impacts how we feel and our value. So if I surround myself with true value and good people that are also charging what they're worth, then I'm more likely to understand how to convey that. And so by you having a proposal that says this service is valued at this, not only is that important, like I said, it's not just about having it on the paper, it's about your ability to confidently explain that and to show it.
Mm-hmm. Which we've done so well.
Yeah.
So well. Yeah. I mean, that brings me back to mindset. When I had to delete people out of my life. I had to delete so much stuff out of like all that clutter, all that nonsense, even like you said, personally, professionally, everything, like just kind of dumping out all that stuff. And you told me at one point, I know you did, you were like, surround yourself with the people you want, like you just said, like you want to be either influenced by or living like, and surround yourself with those, build that tribe of people, and you will get to where you need to be. I mean, I feel like that was probably like a year ago you said that, at that exact moment. And that's when I was like, okay, let's just get these people in my world. Let's keep focusing and get all of that good stuff going on in your life.
Exactly. And that's why I love our private client relationship. Mm-hmm. I'm also able to offer you the mastermind environment, right? So it's being around, like when I hosted that retreat in Miami and you were able to come to Miami and be in a house for 3 days with other women business owners that were just like you, that were ambitious and excited and hardworking and looking to accomplish big things and make a big impact in a positive way in the world. And I just love being able to see that come together. And you're still close with those women. That's what I love, is you're still able to continue that relationship. That's the kind of fertile ground that I like to give. And that is so much what you've taken advantage of. Like you have just taken it and run with it, Susie. It's been so inspirational. You're such an inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you. So if you had any advice to give to somebody who's looking to scale their agency or their business, what advice would you give them?
Well, it's about first and foremost identifying what we're good at, right? And in your case, you are very good at creative design and development, like expert. Like if there's a 1 to 10 expert level and 10 is the best, you're at 22.
Oh my gosh,
like,
thank you.
Amazing. However, it's not fair if you're also good at everything else. So it's about accepting the things that we were not as good at. And I am the same way. There are things that I'm very good at. Put me outside, let me sell something. That's where I'm best. However, I run a company, so I also have to be good at leadership, hiring, development, management, administration. And if I'm not good at it, I need to be willing to hire someone who is and pay for their services so that they can do what they're good at. I can do what I'm good at. And as the leader of the company, I can take us to the next level. All of us, right? Rising tide lifts all ships. So that is the best advice I can give, is identify what we're good at and then hire the people that can help us in the places that we're maybe not as strong.
I totally agree. I mean, I have my dad, he kind of does all my accounting and stuff. I don't touch any of that because I am horrible with numbers and everything else. So, I mean, there's tons of things that I've outsourced in that sense. And I talk about that in the other episode. My advice is always since 2 years ago, like just hire somebody to help you with sales, business, mentor, like whatever you need, because you can't do it alone and you're going to be in your head, beating yourself up, and you need that assistance. I mean, you're a sales coach technically, but you've done so much more. You've done business mentoring, you have the mastermind, you have so much other things that you help all day, every day. I mean, and you do funnels and all that crazy stuff that you tell me to do all the time. So like, there's so much more to it than just saying, okay, go sell. So I think that's the biggest thing. Like if I could give advice to anybody, whether it's an agency or just a business owner, you need to invest in some type of business mentor, sales coach, business, whatever you want to call it, you need to invest in it.
100%. I have a coach. I don't ask someone to invest in me and I'm not investing in myself. I pay I invest tens of thousands of dollars each year in sharpening my saw, right? And the mindset, in the business acumen, in mentorship and accountability, because one perfect push-up does not make a strong body, just like $1 million a year does not make a legacy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what we're moving toward.
Yeah, we are. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you came on and kind of shared some insight. I know we've been working for 2 years, so I know you saw all of the stuff grow. So I thought you were the perfect fit to kind of
Thank you.
justify all of that
Yeah.
and kind of come on. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you. And Susie, I mean, just for anyone who's listening, I want to say and ask you this and maybe really share your perspective is, what do you think has really been the kicker for you with your clients that has helped you go from where, you know, bringing it from where it was when we first met and when you first started your agency to now where you're exceeding the, you know, the 6 and 7 figure mark for your agency?
Yeah, so it's definitely, well, first it's like the value and understanding your worth, but then beyond that and having that value stack, that's first and foremost. But beyond that, like having slide decks, that's been really huge over the past 6 months or so. We've worked on like progress slide decks, just really showcasing all of the little things that make a customer happy and realize, okay, we're doing good, so that they know that everything is working and it's going. And then just having slide decks for proposals and education value and just showing that value. And so even if they don't invest at that time, they have it remembered in their mind and they'll come back later. There's so many times that people have come back to me later and said, okay, I'm ready now. So just kind of educating them and making that process going, I think has been a huge benefit to really help scale that business.
Yeah. Awesome. It's been amazing watching you take it and run with it. So I'm just so excited for you. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah, thank you.